the final game of the regular season as we welcome you back to Ralph Wilson Stadium for the Indianapolis Colts and the Buffalo Bills. And this game is brought to you in Sony High Definition. Peyton Manning is set to go on this blustery day in Western New York. He'll start, but it might not be for long. We'll be back with the opening kickoff here in Orchard Park right after this.
Presenting Subway Fresh Buzz, a look at football's most buzzworthy teams, brought to you by Subway, home of the famous $5 footlong. Subway, eat fresh. Thanks to their top-ranked rushing offense led by Sean Green and number 20, Thomas Jones, and big plays on special teams from Brad Smith, the New York Jets can clinch their first playoff spot in 3 years with a win tonight against the Bengals.
Brad Smith at the 40, at the 50, down the sideline at the 40, at the Colt 30, stays on his feet at the 20, touchdown!
Start the year right. Eat smart with a mega meaty yet surprisingly low-fat Subway Club. Part of a Subway Fresh Fit meal. A simple way to enjoy eating better. Subway, eat fresh.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
We're back, ready to start the new year with the Indianapolis Colts and the Buffalo Bills. The temperature today expected to get into single digits with the wind chill below zero, 4 to 7 inches of snow, and wind gusts that could reach up to 40 miles an hour. Buffalo has won the toss. They'll receive. This is the 66th meeting between these two teams. Buffalo leads the overall series 34-30-1, but the Colts have won the last 6, and we are underway. Fred Jackson takes it at the 10 and brings it out close to the 25-yard line. And a quarterback for Buffalo, Ryan Fitzpatrick, is back from the ankle injury that kept him out last week against Atlanta. This is his 8th start for the Bills, 1,267 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions.
And Bill, any way you slice it, this Buffalo Bills offense has been anemic this year, and Ryan Fitzpatrick knows this is the last chance to make a statement for to plead his case for next year. Not ideal. We'll see how he handles these elements.
Just underway here in Orchard Park from the 25-yard line. Toss back to Jackson. Tough footing out there. And kind of picks his way for a 3-yard gain. Up front, the Bills will go with their 9th different starting combination this season. With Jonathan Scott out, Jamon Meredith starts today at left tackle. And the Bills, of course, have plenty of weapons on offense, but with the weather today, we're expecting a heavy dose of Fred Jackson and Marshawn Lynch. So 2nd and 8 after a pickup of 2. Jackson, again, the lone setback. Stupar, the motion man, the tight end. Toss again back to Jackson. And he gets it out across the 30-yard line to the 31. Plenty of changes for the Colts defensively. Baldwin and Brock start for Freeney and Mathis at the ends. Eric Foster for Johnson at left tackle. At linebacker, Ramon Humber starts at the will for Session. And in the secondary, Lacey for Powers at right corner. Francisco for Bullitt at strong safety. 3rd and 4. Opening possession for the Buffalo Bills. Fitzpatrick from the shotgun. Lofts it out there, and that's going nowhere. Roscoe Parrish made the catch, and Tim Jennings closed quickly. So it's 3 and out for the Buffalo Bills.
I don't think Roscoe Parrish appreciated this ball being floated by Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had to go up and over the hands right there, and Jennings was not fooled one bit. He saw that play coming the whole way. Roscoe Parrish never had a chance. Just another example of frustration by this Buffalo Bills offense.
Brian Moorman will have to punt into the wind, second in the AFC with almost a 47-yard average. TJ Rushing is back deep for the Colts. And this is a short pump. Takes a bounce and fielded. Rushing. And he's brought down immediately at the 30-yard line. So Peyton Manning will start at quarterback for Indianapolis. We don't know how long he'll go, but having another MVP caliber year. He came in needing just 153 yards to break his own Colts single season passing record.
Went over 50,000 yards last week, Bill. Fastest ever to get to 50,000 yards. 2 games faster than our very own Dan Marino.
And he came in needing 1 completion to Reggie Wayne in order to move them into second place as the NFL's second all-time leading passing duo. And they get it out to Reggie Wayne, and there's the pass that moves them into second place. Well, the Colts offensive line, they'll go with backups at both offensive tackle spots, Hugo and Tadeu. Jeff Saturday at center, one of 6 Colts voted to the Pro Bowl. The backs and receivers, tight end Dallas Clark named to his first Pro Bowl and having one of the great seasons ever by a tight end in the National Football League. So 2nd and 7, opening possession for the Colts here in Buffalo. Incomplete. And in and out of the hands of Dallas Clark. The Bills defensively are missing 7 players who have started this season. Up front, Aaron Schobel coming off a 3-sack game last week. At linebacker, the Bills are down to their 4th will linebacker. John Cordo got to start there today. And the secondary, which has been a strength of the Bills without Jarris Byrd, the rookie voted to the Pro Bowl, and their best cover corner, Terrence McGee, both on IR. 3rd and 7 for the Indianapolis Colts. Manning, and that was picked off. Kerry Harris, the rookie out of USC, 6th round pick with the interception of Peyton Manning.
Well, it's tough sledding out there if you're a quarterback throwing this football, and especially when your receivers running down the middle of the field are falling down on you. That was Jacob Tamme, the tight end, who slipped, and that allowed Kerry Harris to step in and really just fall into this football. You can see there's no one anywhere near it for the Colts because of Tamme slipping. The field is very, very cold out there. That's one of the most difficult decisions a player has to make on a day like today. What kind of shoes to wear, because you just don't know how that surface is going to hold up.
Harris activated as a backup safety today, and the Buffalo Bills now with 27 interceptions on the season. And they take over from the 42-yard line. Short drop, and that is caught. Stupar, the tight end, and he is out of bounds inside the 40, down close to the 37-yard line.
Well, Bill, on that Peyton Manning interception, he did tell us when we talked to him yesterday he wanted to try and come out. He didn't know whether he was going to be playing 1 or 2 series. Whether Jim Caldwell wants to take him out after that interception, I don't know. But we did see a concerted effort by Peyton Manning to try and get the ball to Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark, just as he told us he was going to try to do yesterday.
2nd and 6. High formation. Jackson behind Corey McIntyre. Follows him in. Tries to get to the perimeter and can't quite turn the corner. Jacob Lacey, the right cornerback, made the stop, starting today for Gerard Powers.
That run right there, Bill, is one of the runs that, the type of run that makes Fred Jackson a special running back. That play, all the flow was going to the left side, and he's got the ability to see it and sense when that pursuit from the backside is a little too aggressive, and he bounced it all the way back around the right side. Fred Jackson today needs 150 yards total on the day to break 1,000 yards, and his offensive lineman, it's a very big priority that they try and get him there today.
Trying to take advantage of the interception. 3rd and 3. Bills were never able to get into a rhythm on offense last week. They were limited to a season low 40 yards rushing against the Falcons.
The question is, have they been in rhythm all year? That's a
good point. 3rd and 3. Jackson, he's got a first down, still on his feet. Fred Jackson all the way down to the 15-yard line. Gary Brackett, the middle linebacker, finally pushed him out of bounds after a gain of 19 yards.
Well, the key block on this play, Bill, was by number 88. You see coming in motion, Jonathan Stupar right there, just cracking back on the defensive end. Had no idea, didn't see it coming. That got Fred Jackson to the edge. And then the rest, you know, we talk about how hard it is to run on this field in these kind of conditions. Very hard to tackle as well. It just seems as though everything on the football field does not operate as it normally would under these conditions. You got to wrap up on a running back with the football.
Came in 10th in the AFC in rushing with 850 yards. He'll get it again. Very patient, trying to let something develop, and down close to the 11-yard line.
And another thing that's going to work in Fred Jackson and this Buffalo Bills running game's favor, Bill, as you stated in the opening lineups, a lot of the key players for the Indianapolis Colts are being rested today. Dwight Freeney not even in uniform, but a lot of these players will be used sparingly, if at all. And so that should give Fred Jackson a good opportunity today.
2nd and 6. Short drop. Fitzpatrick tried to hit the slant, and T.O. got popped at the goal line and is slow getting up.
Well, that really, in my opinion, was just a bad decision by Ryan Fitzpatrick to throw this ball in there. It was late. Number one, you could see that there were 4 Indianapolis Colts underneath. This is nothing. There's nothing T.O. can do about this. The ball was thrown behind him, and you saw safety Antoine Bethea reading that perfectly. Ryan Fitzpatrick turned and looked right all the way. Bethea knew where that ball was going. Poor decision by Ryan Fitzpatrick.
So the Bills are going to take a timeout. Looking for points after the interception. No score here in Buffalo.
One afternoon, some of the people at work came up and said, hey, you want to come and help at the Ronald McDonald House? And I was like, sure. We cook food and we provide a place for families to relax. What about dessert? Do we have any dessert lined up for today? Brownies. Brownies. That big? When you can come in and you can make a little girl that's going through the things that she's going through smile, it's all worth it right there. This is who I am.
Is it the fact that our vehicles have the highest expected resale value of any luxury brand that makes them so impressive? Or is it the fact that we have the only full line of 5-star safety rated sedans? Or is it both? Test drive any Acura at the Drive Home Safely for the Holidays event.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2010 Acura TL for well-qualified customers.
Does your phone surf the web? Does your phone surf the web with the speed and power of a pro surfer at Pipeline? Does it bring you the web in all its glory, in all its intended pixels, allowing you to reach the farthest expanses of its universe, deepest depths of its oceans, without getting as much as a grain of sand in your shorts? Droid does. Wave-shredding web speed. In a world that doesn't, Droid does.
Right now, buy a Droid and get a Droid Eris free.
CBS Wednesday, real stars in ordinary jobs.
I'm the psychic guru. Look at Gene Simmons. I get that a lot.
Could they fool you?
I'm gonna start by pumping some gas.
You look so familiar.
That's hot.
You look exactly like Rachel Ray. Personally, I think she's a little bit chipper for me.
A new I Get That a Lot, Wednesday, only CBS.
Colts came in ranked 16th on defense in the NFL, 21st against the run, 18th against the pass. But they have been very efficient after turnovers.
That's almost perfect. You can see 1 time out of 22. Hard to beat that.
3rd and 6. 3 wide receivers to the right. Fitzpatrick, plenty of time to the end zone. Jackson, touchdown, Buffalo. Fred Jackson.
Very, very good execution by the Buffalo Bills, who've been the worst team in the NFL in red zone offense. Only 32.4% of the time coming away with touchdowns. But right there, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fred Jackson, they got the coverage they wanted. Super execution and a nice touchdown.
Ryan Lindell on to try the extra point with 9:25 left to go in the first. And the Buffalo Bills have the early lead, and Fred Jackson 31 yards rushing, 11 receiving on the touchdown, 42 total yards already, and Buffalo able to convert the interception by the rookie Kerry Harris into 7 points. The Bills with the early lead.
Is it the fact that our vehicles have the highest expected resale value of any luxury brand that makes them so impressive? Or is it the fact that we have the only full line of 5-star safety rated sedans? Or is it both? Test drive any Acura at the Drive Home Safely for the Holidays event.
Take advantage of attractive lease rates on the 2010 Acura TL for well-qualified customers.
You remember me? You gave me that 5-layer burrito for
89 cents.
Yes! It's an inside deal for everyone. Layers of seasoned beef, cheddar cheese, and a hidden layer of nacho cheese sauce. It's Taco Bell's new beefy 5-layer burrito.
Whoa! I got a winner! I got it!
At 89 cents, everyone's a winner. The new cheesy double-decker taco. A crunch.
In a neat little single-dose spoon. Liquid medicine, already dissolved. Ready for your body to take in. New Robitussin to go. Pure Robitussin relief to go.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Go to southwest.com. Grab your bag. It's on. Verizon Wireless, America's largest 3G network. And by Acura. Acura. Advance.
We're back in Orchard Park, and the wind chill factor as Peyton Manning gets ready to come back on the field. We believe the wind chill is down below 0, and the forecast is for up to 7 inches of snow today, and winds gusting up to 40 miles an hour.
Bill, you know, as a retired football player myself,
happily at this point,
there are days where you really feel like you could still go out there and do it. You want to go out there and do it. Today is not one of those days. Trust me. No desire whatsoever to be out there.
Sam Jaguar, who was signed this week with Chad Simpson out, set to return. Fitting, we're so close to the Canadian border because he's from Quebec. Played football there at Sherbrooke College. Short kick. And Jaguar is brought down hard at about the 26-yard line. Peyton will go back to work when we return to Orchard Park. 9:21 left in the first.
They say the war tore a hole in the sky. That was 30 winters ago. I've been walking ever since. Put that hand on me again, you won't get it back.
I made that book. I know its power.
Nobody touches it but me.
It's not a book. It's a weapon.
The Book of Eli, rated R, starts January 15th.
Even in the most uncertain times, there are some things we know for sure. There will still be weddings, still be babies, and still be bright futures. That's why New York Life has been helping families plan for the expected and unexpected for 164 years. Backed by the highest ratings for financial strength, we're safe and secure, so you can be too. Give your family the gift of a secure financial future. New York Life, the company you keep.
Intercepted. Picked off by Kelvin Hayden. And Hayden still running inside the 20, and Hayden may run it back all the way. He does. Kelvin Hayden.
Super Bowl 41, the Colts and the Bears. Jim Nantz and Phil Simms, our colleagues, had the call. Colts once again hoping to create that same magic they had here on CBS 3 years ago. Let's take a look back, Steve, at the scoring play.
Well, I want you to look at this setup. It's perfect. Right here is Fred Jackson. Right here is Gary Brackett, the linebacker. What you're going to see is Fred Jackson dipping in and then going right down the middle of the field. Watch what it does to Gary Brackett. He sets his feet, boom. That's all it took for Fred Jackson to slip by and get in the end zone.
Colts will go from a shotgun on first down. Screen to Dallas Clark with some running room. And out across the 40 to the 43. A pickup of 15 yards. And with that completion to Reggie Wayne, here's how things stand. They move ahead of the former Bills Jim Kelly and Andre Reed. So Peyton 1 and 2 in that category. There's another one out to Reggie Wayne. Fourth in the NFL in receptions with 95 coming in. So they'd like to get him to 100.
Well, this is exactly what we expected. We're going to look at our former Buffalo Bills quarterback Jim Kelly in attendance. Right there. He's a man that's used to these conditions, no doubt about it. But we were told very clearly by Peyton, while he's in there, he's going to be trying to pump that ball to Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark. He's doing it again on this drive.
2nd and 6. Shovel pass to Dallas Clark. Good job by the Bills defensively right at midfield. John Cordo, starting today at the will linebacker, made the stop. He's there because Nick Harris, who had a good week last week in Atlanta but was injured, was placed on IR. Cordo in his 2nd year out of Sacred Heart. Colts up quickly, 3rd and 3. Right at midfield. Peyton. Caught by Reggie Wayne. Reggie named to his 4th Pro Bowl this week. Peyton selected to his 10th. That ties him with the legendary Johnny Unitas for the most in Colts history.
Great job by Reggie Wayne. And that is his 3rd catch today. That gets him to 98 on the season. Peyton Manning just converting 3rd downs like he usually does. Best in the NFL again this year of moving the chains.
Changing it up. Now goes back into the shotgun. Donald Brown, the rookie from UConn, stopped at the line of scrimmage. Chris Kelsey made the tackle.
Well, this is going to be one of the interesting matchups today. The Buffalo Bills this season, the worst in the NFL against the run. The Indianapolis Colts this year, the worst in the NFL running the football. So something's got to give at some point.
2nd and 10.
If there is a glaring weakness for this Indianapolis Colts team, it is running the football. They've got to get it going into the playoffs.
That's one of the priorities Jim Caldwell told us heading into the postseason. Manning to Dallas Clark. Cordo made the tackle. Well, Dallas Clark having just a spectacular season. He came in needing 7 catches to become only the 2nd tight end in NFL history to have 100 catches in a season, joining Tony Gonzalez.
I can't believe Dallas Clark is out there without gloves on his hands today. No sleeves. I understand that, but receivers usually wear gloves in these conditions.
Again, Reggie Wayne with some running room. Down inside the 30, close to the 27.
Just a little bubble screen to the outside. Reggie Wayne knows what to do when he gets that ball in his hand. We have not seen, other than that one throw that was intercepted, Peyton Manning trying to really throw the ball up the field. Kind of what you expect in these conditions.
First down, Colts. Dallas Clark with some running room and another Indianapolis first down. Well, we talked to Dallas about coming in, needing those 7 catches to reach 100. He said, I don't know if there's going to be 7 completions in the entire game.
Well, I have a funny feeling we're going to find out. Peyton Manning doing his part to try and give him an example. Do you think he wants to get Dallas Clark and Reggie Wayne to 100 catches?
Well, he's more than halfway there today with 4 receptions, and Wayne has 4 as well.
And the Colts is number 2 in the NFL in red zone offense. They are hard to stop.
Manning tipped, incomplete.
That wasn't tipped. I think it hit the referee in the back of the head. He tried to duck and get under it. Peyton, I'll tell you what, he's lucky he ducked. Watch where this ball hits him. Boop, right off the shoulder.
Yeah. Wayne was the intended receiver. Reggie Wayne, one catch away from 100 on the season. Second time he would have hit that milestone. Clark, Dallas Clark, stopped just short of the goal line by George Wilson and Paul Posluszny, the middle linebacker.
Well, I thought for a second that we were going to see Dallas Clark get into the end zone for the 11th time this year. This little screen patch, you can see the lineman trying to get out in front of Dallas Clark. Couldn't quite get into the end zone, but boy, a lot of good creativity in this short passing game on this drive by the Indianapolis Colts.
Mike Hart, in his second year out of Michigan, has checked into the backfield. 11th play of the drive coming up. Manning over the head of Reggie Wayne, who is looking for a flag but won't get one. Good coverage by Reggie Corner, who's coming off a rough outing last week against Atlanta, beaten for a couple of touchdowns.
Yeah, the first play of the game, Roddy White went deep for a touchdown. Matt Ryan found him for a 47-yard touchdown. Reggie Corner trying to put a better performance out there on the field today.
Hart stays in the game, the lone back. Second and goal. They give it to him. Fights his way into the end zone. Touchdown, Colts. Mike Hart seeing playing time today with Chad Simpson out with a concussion.
And again, the Colts answer as they do so well so often. Mike Hart not getting a lot of chances this year to carry the football, but taking advantage of the opportunity in these conditions to show he can still play some football as well.
And we'll see Matt Stover back kicking for the Colts this week, giving Adam Vinatieri a little more time to recover from his knee surgery 10 weeks ago. And the extra point is good. 3:52 left to go in the first. And after the touchdown by Mike Hart, we're all tied at 7.
Hey, everybody.
Not too heavy, not too light. Bud Light. The difference is drinkability.
I brought potato salad.
Cargo Incognito. Introducing the Accord Cross Tour from Honda.
This is Tracy Palmer, and this is her restrictive calling circle. She's breaking free and saying, hey, 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 goodbye, and switching to Sprint with any mobile, anytime. Now on the Sprint network, she can call any mobile phone on any network, anytime, without worrying about the meter running. So she's calling every NFL fan in the country to talk a little smack about their team. Welcome to the Now Network. Get unlimited calling to every mobile phone nationwide when you switch to any mobile, anytime. Only from Sprint, the Now Network.
Undercover Boss premieres after the Super Bowl, only CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T. Rowe Price. Understanding the connections of today's complex global economy. Invest with confidence. And by the all-new Accord Cross Tour from Honda. Versatility modernized.
All tied here in Orchard Park. 12-play drive as the Colts come right back, and we may have seen the last of Peyton Manning for the day. Curtis Painter, the rookie out of Purdue, the 6th-round draft pick, has his helmet on. Is set to go, and the Colts take possession once again. A squib kick, and it rolls out of bounds. Smart play by Justin Jenkins.
Kick out of bounds. Kicking team, by rule, the ball will be placed at the 40-yard line. It will be Buffalo ball, 1st and 10.
So it will be the Bills' turn when we come back. Don Carey, our referee today, knotted at 7.
It fits without fitting in. Introducing the Accord Cross Tour from Honda.
I've got nothing on night vision. Switching to thermal.
Don't worry, we're gonna get you home.
Air Force Rescue 11 inbound. Learn more at airforce.com.
How can rice production in India affect wheat output in the U.S., the shipping industry in Norway, and the rubber industry in South America? At T. Rowe Price, we understand the connections of a complex global economy. It's just one reason 80% of our mutual funds beat their 10-year Lipper average. T. Rowe Price. Invest with confidence. Request a prospectus with investment objectives, risks, fees, expenses, and more information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Monday. What makes How I Met Your Mother the coolest comedy on television? Critics call it sitcom magic start to finish.
Barney, are you wearing sweatpants? Maybe, but they're Armani.
How I Met Your Mother, CBS Monday. You're watching the NFL on CBS, home of Super Bowl 44.
A balmy 14 degrees here in Orchard Park, but with the wind chill, it's below zero at -2. Forecast for continued snow and wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Marshawn Lynch is the lone setback as the Bills take over 1st and 10 from their own 40. Lynch tries to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Eric Foster made the stop. Let's check in with JB in New York for this update.
Hey, Bill and Steve, potentially a big blow for the Patriots as the league leader in receptions, Wes Welker, goes down on his play. Take a look at his left plant leg. He goes down there, injured. We don't know the extent of it. We'll keep you updated on that. And by the way, Houston, which needs a win and some help for any postseason hopes, they're up 7-0 late in the first. Bill and Steve.
All right, JB, thank you. The Texans trying to get to the postseason for the first time in club history and finish the season with a winning record. Patriots have already clinched the AFC East. 2nd and 10 for the Bills. Incomplete. Tried to check it down to Marshawn Lynch. Lynch couldn't bring it in.
Hey, Bill, quick question for you. You're an Indianapolis Colts fan, hypothetically. If that happened to one of your receivers in week 16 or week 15 of the NFL season, should you have rested him or not?
Well, that's the exact point that Bill Polian and Jim Caldwell were making, that we don't want to take any chances.
That's a very concrete example. Wes Welker is valuable as anybody on that New England Patriots team. That did not look like a very good-looking knee injury. I'm not speculating, but that could have been one of the Colts players.
Colts showing blitz on 3rd and long. Again, they swing it out to Lynch, and he's going to be stopped well short of a 1st down. The Bills are going to have to punt. Kelvin Hayden made the tackle.
2-yard gain on the play brings up 4th and 8. Brian Mormon in punt formation.
So again, we'll see Brian Mormon has had an outstanding year, averaging almost 47 yards a punt. TJ Rushing again is back deep for Indianapolis, standing at about the 19-yard line. Warren punting into the wind. Waving people off. It's a short kick, but takes a Buffalo bounce. And will be down at the 21-yard line. A 37-yard punt once again. Let's check in with JB in New York for an update.
Bill and Steve, a must-win situation for Pitt and some help in order to make it into the postseason. Roethlisberger, play action going up top, 54 yards to Mike Wallace for the score. Pittsburgh has scored on his first 2 drives, both touchdown tosses by Roethlisberger. 14-7 Pitt over Miami. Bill and Steve.
All right, JB, both those teams with an outside shot at the playoffs. The loser is out as Peyton Manning once again comes out for another series.
Well, we know why he's out there at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get the ball to
no, it's okay.
Reggie Wayne and Dallas Clark. You know, 2 more times for Dallas Clark, 1 more time for Reggie Wayne, and we see a substitution in the middle of this drive to get Curtis Painter in.
From the 21-yard line, we're tied at 7 here in Orchard Park. And that is caught by Hank Baskett. 4th catch of the season for the Colts. That's what they're trying to do. Reggie Wayne 1 catch away from 100, and Dallas Clark is 2. Second and 3. Brown. Oh, go nowhere. Stop for a loss. Drayton Florence, the cornerback, led the surge.
Good pursuit by the Buffalo Bills defense on that play. A loss of 4 puts the Indianapolis Colts in a 3rd and 7 situation. You can see great job right there by Paul Leslie scraping around number 51, showing up right in the hole where Donald Brown wanted to go.
So let's see what the Colts can do on 3rd and 7. By Austin Collie, the rookie out of BYU. And a first down for the Colts.
Well, great call. Peyton Manning, as we know, and he talked to us about it yesterday, he has the freedom to change the plays that come in anytime he wants. He just has such a great feel for what's going on in the field, the coverage that might be coming. Throws that ball nice and cool, under control. Hits Austin Collie for a big first down.
And that was good for 16 yards. From the 39, Manning to Dallas Clark. And he's 1 catch away from 100. Leslie made the tackle. And that could be the final play of the opening quarter.
Well, Bill, one of the things that is not overlooked in the NFL, but maybe publicly might not be understood, is the ability of Peyton Manning to not get sacked. And today in these conditions, he's throwing the ball quick most of the time, but every single year, 6 times since 1998, the Colts have led the NFL as far as sacks allowed.
Gets it off with 1 second left, and Reggie Wayne, who reaches 100 but is stopped immediately. So that's the end of the first quarter with our score tied at 7. We'll return to Orchard Park after these messages. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
From the director of Taken.
There's a suicide bomber inside the embassy.
The risk has never been greater.
What do you think this is about? It's about terrorists.
But our last line of defense is also our best.
What the? Did I say we were done?
John Travolta, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
Come on, baby, 1 shot.
From Paris with Love.
Tell me that wasn't some impressive.
Rated R, in theaters February 5th.
Slow down, slow down. What's the hurry? You're driving like a maniac. Are you listening? Are you listening? I can't stand it when you ignore me. This wind is mussing up my hair. Oh, don't give me that look. Watch the road. Great. Now look what you've done. I told you not to drive so.
For drivers who want to get the most out of their cars, it's Bridgestone or nothing.
Honey, don't touch that. We still need to get that all hooked up. I'll call someone in the morning.
How about I hook it up with my mind?
All right, it's showtime. How are you doing that? Not bad, baby.
We'll take over your computer and your problems. Get 24/7 Geek Squad online support, only from Best Buy.
CBS Tuesday. Take off with NCIS.
Jetpacks. It's gonna be a weird one.
A new NCIS that will blow you away. Wow! Then, extremism.
What's a fundamentalist doing in a strip club?
Gets extreme.
He's past his expiration date.
New NCIS Los Angeles after a new NCIS Tuesday.
Reggie Wayne made his way to the sideline after his 100th catch of the season. Second year for him, 100 or more.
Dallas Clark right there in the backfield needs one.
3rd and 4. And they get it to him. And tried to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. He'll lose one. Good pressure by Chris Kelsey.
Well, all right. We see Peyton Manning walking off the field for probably the last time today. His sole purpose was to get the ball to Dallas Clark and Reggie Wayne. And, of course, execute the offense efficiently, as he always seems to do. But mission accomplished for those two guys.
And how special that is. Only the second tight end, again, in NFL history, with 100 catches in a season. Joining Tony Gonzalez. Parrish. Trying to keep his feet and finally brought down at the 23-yard line. Just underway in the second quarter. We're tied at 7. Colts and the Bills.
Let's talk about putting our best square foot forward. Then let's do more than talk about it. Let's turn picturing it into planning it. Thinking it over into making it happen. Let's say out with the old and in with the new. Let's create some wall-to-wall wow. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Right now, get any carpet installed for just $97. Any brand, any style, any number of rooms.
There comes a time when you know you've got to make a change.
This is the new Domino's Pizza.
We improved everything. Sauce, cheese, crust, you name it. The deal is 2 medium, 2 topping pizzas for $5.99 each. If you don't like it, we'll give you your money back.
All of it. Not half of it. All of it.
You get a lot of different stuff from her, and it's all right here. Everything sent to you, organized by the person who sent it. The Droid Heiress, the droid that's as connected as you, exclusively at Verizon Wireless.
Only Katie asks the questions.
How many times did you do crystal meth?
You want answered.
Explain to me why that enhances your foreign policy credentials. Is this photo fabricated? Is this photo a lie?
Only Katie Couric.
Why should Americans sign off on spending billions of dollars?
Only CBS News.
Wednesday on CBS, join host Queen Latifah and your favorite TV, music, and movie stars on the awards show that listens to you. The People's Choice Awards live Wednesday at 9, 8 Central, only on CBS, America's most watched network. Snow continues to fall here in Orchard Park. T.O. making his way onto the field. He came in 49 yards away from moving into 3rd place as one of the NFL's all-time leading receivers. Last week, he became only the 6th player in NFL history to record 1,000 career receptions. Jackson. Across the 25 to the 26-yard line.
We're seeing a lot of players on that field, Bill, looking like they're on skates out there. That field is getting harder as it gets colder here, and as that snow settles in and packs in on that turf, we're going to see a lot of players slipping and having a hard time keeping their balance out there.
2nd and 7, I formation. Jackson again, the deep back. Toss back to Fred Jackson. Some good hitting going on out there. And we have a penalty marker as Jackson gets it out just past the 30-yard line.
Outside. Defense. Number 98. Five-yard penalty. Repeat. 2nd down. Correction. The number was 68.
68, that's Eric Foster, the left defensive tackle. 98 is Robert Mathis, who's resting a quad injury. Not expecting to see him today, and Dwight Freeney is inactive. Second and 2. Jackson. And that's a Buffalo 1st down. at the 35. Well, thought the NFL fantasy football season was over. It's not. Sign up for NFL.com Playoff Challenge today. Only at NFL.com/fantasy.
Bill, how bad has it been for this Buffalo Bills offense this year? Or actually go back 23 games. When they've scored 16 or more points, it only happened 7 times in the last 23 games. They're 5-2. When they don't score 16 points, their record is 0-16.
They, of course, came in with a roster devastated by injuries. Again, Jackson. Out past the 40. They added linebacker Nick Harris to IR this week. That brought Buffalo's total this season to 19. And at least this year, that has a lot to do with their ranking.
Look at that, though. In the last 7 years, not once have they been ranked higher than 25th in the NFL. That is a truly offensive offense, no doubt. It's an exercise in futility for the last 7 years.
2nd and 4. Fitzpatrick. And that is batted away, intended for Lee Evans. And the snow is starting to come down harder. Jamie Silva knocked it away.
Now this is the hardest direction to throw the football in this stadium, kind of blowing into this quartering wind from Ryan Fitzpatrick's left to right. And it's hard enough to throw when it's this cold out there. The ball is hard. The ball kind of swells up, and it does not have the normal soft feel to it. For a quarterback, your hands are cold. It is hard to get a good grip on that football. Made it even tougher by throwing into the wind.
And the incomplete pass brings up 3rd and 4. Fitzpatrick, Evans, and that'll be a first down for the Bills. Lee Evans last week became Buffalo's 3rd all-time leading receiver. In his 6th year out of Wisconsin, and just a pro's pro.
Now, one of the things that's unique about Lee Evans, and there are many, many things, is that he averaged, over the first 5 years of his career, he's averaged over 15 yards a catch. Only one player in NFL history has averaged over 15 yards a catch for the first 6 years. Guy you might have heard of, Jerry Rice. This year, Lee Evans is just under 15 yards a catch, so he might not break it.
Averaging 14.1. First down, Jackson. And does a great job keeping his feet into Colts territory down to the 45-yard line. Aaron Francisco, who started today at strong safety for Bullet, made the tackle.
And another good strong run by Fred Jackson right at the gut. We knew we were going to see a lot of them today. And we just got word from New York, Bill, that Wes Welker's knee injury indeed is serious. He will not return today. We don't know the extent of it, but it is not looking good for Wes Welker.
Jackson again, the lone setback. Fitzpatrick up top, going for T.O. and incomplete.
You know, one of the things that it's really been frustrating for Terrell Owens on the outside is they've been not been able to hook up with any of the quarterbacks on the deep ball on a regular basis. You see that ball thrown out of bounds last week. Brian Brom, on a play where I really felt that Terrell Owens could have gone up and tried to break it up, he threw a ball a little bit short and inside that was intercepted. But the bottom line is they've not been able to get on the same page up the field. Terrell Owens has been open like he was in that last play. They just can't quite get it done.
3rd and 2. Jackson. And he'll be stopped short of the first down.
Really a good play by Irvin Baldwin, number 94, coming in there. Was not fooled at all by that play, and the fans are upset that Perry Fuel is not going to go for it here on 4th and a little bit less than 2 yards. I hear him. I understand.
Baldwin, by the way, started today at left defensive end for Robert Mathis.
This is a good potential fake situation, too. I don't know whether Perry Fuel's got one up his sleeve, but this is a situation where you might see one.
TJ rushing, standing back inside his own 10-yard line, awaiting the punt by Brian Moorman. And it bounds out of bounds at the 10-yard line. 35-yard punts. The Colts will go to work on this chilly day in Orchard Park.
Excuse me, is this the
returns line? Yeah.
Didn't get the 3G coverage you wanted this season? There's a map for that. To get 5 times more 3G coverage than AT&T, hurry into the Verizon Wireless Go Red Save Green event, where you can get 50% off select 3G phones like the Moto Rival, LG 8360, or the Samsung Omnia for just $24.99. Verizon Wireless.
Still refreshing football fans everywhere. For the taste as cold as the Rockies. Frost Brew Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer, and the official beer sponsor of the Super Bowl.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by HTC, phones that get you. Burger King, who remind you to have it your way. And by the Home Depot, more saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
They are some of the greatest fans in the world here in Buffalo, the Bills fans, and this is a hearty bunch in these conditions.
Bill, when we were driving over to the stadium this morning, about 3 hours before game time, it was like a little army of Bills fans just walking down the street like it was no big deal. You and I, we walked from the car to the breakfast and we about died.
Well, Curtis Painter is in the ball game. Last week was his first NFL regular season action. He was 4 of 11 for 44 yards, an interception, and a fumble that was returned for a touchdown when he came in late in the third quarter. A loss on the play, and again, let's go to JB in New York for an update.
Hey, Bill, Houston needs a win and some help for the postseason. Any hopes there? They were up 7-0 until Fred Taylor takes it 4 yards for the score, capping a 9-play drive, and a Steven Gostkowski 51-yard field goal now has the Patriots on top by 3. Bill and Steve.
Thanks, JB. The Texans need to win and then have 2 of the following teams lose: Baltimore, Denver, or the Jets. Brown again fighting to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Kyle Williams, the right defensive tackle, made the stop.
Well, good opportunity for Curtis Painter here, although this is not the opportunity I think he was thinking about when he came into this season.
Colts 6th-round draft pick. Solid career, starting 41 games at Purdue. Painter under pressure, keeps his feet, gets rid of it and almost intercepted, but incomplete. Jacob Tammy was the intended receiver.
Well, right here you can see how difficult it is to function right there, especially when you're under pressure. You had big Kyle Williams coming around the edge. He saw him in his face, and he couldn't really set and throw that ball the way he wanted to.
So Pat McAfee, the rookie punter, will stand in his own end zone, 3 yards deep. Roscoe Parrish set to return near midfield.
What a great punt.
A boomer, and it's taken at the 44-yard line by Parrish. Trying to battle his way to midfield. A 46-yard punt into the wind by McAfee.
Fact, it's got more beef than a fried McDonald's double cheeseburger. We think it's got more taste too, but that's more like an opinion. The quarter-pound double cheeseburger, bigger than McDonald's and now just $1, only at Burger King.
Could switching to Geico really save you 15% or more on car insurance?
Does Elmer Fudd have trouble with the letter R?
Shh. Be very quiet. I'm hunting rabbits.
Okay, cut. I'm hunting rabbits, Elmer. Let's try that again.
Shh. I'm hunting rabbits.
Cut. Rabbits.
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 Rabbits with an R.
Oh, this director's starting to rub me the wrong way.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
Got time for a cup of coffee?
It's Complicated is memorably hilarious.
God, your hair's shorter.
Longer.
I like it.
Meryl Streep and Alec Baldwin are a riot together. Steve Martin has brilliant comic timing. It's Complicated.
Thanks for the coffee.
Rated R.
Happy New Year from The Late Show. Monday, Dave's All New with Michael Cera and Accidentally on Purpose star Jenna Elfman. Plus, later this week, catch Amy Adams and Terry Hatcher.
Find everything you need for the playoffs now at NFLshop.com.
The Colts have had some close calls this season. Week 2 at Miami, they came back to win 27-23. Week 8 against San Francisco, they won 18-14. Week 9 against Houston, 2017. Week 10 at New England, 35-34. Week 11 at Baltimore, 17-15. Week 12 again at Houston, the Colts escaped 35-27. And that Thursday night game at Jacksonville, they won 35-31.
They know how to come from behind. In fact, one of the most impressive things I learned this week, Bill, was that in this decade, 5 times Peyton Manning has led the Indianapolis Colts from deficit of 17 points or more to come back and win. That's the most in NFL history.
And the snow is really beginning to fall now. Jackson. Off a nice little block by T.O., still on his feet and inside the 40-yard line.
T.O. excited about that. Not known for his blocking ability on a regular basis, but right there, showing a little bit of enthusiasm about it. You're going to see him cracking inside, right? Oh, he was a big... It wasn't like he devastated anybody, but he sure did a good job getting in the way.
Just trying to stay warm.
You know what? It's good to see him having fun out there. It's been a frustrating year for him, I'm sure. But he does seem to be genuinely happy.
And that's a first down to the 39-yard line. Play action. Stupar, the tight end. And he picks up maybe a yard.
Well, really well played by Jamie Silva, the safety coming down, and a little shot put. That kind of looked like the way you throw the football on a regular basis, Bill. Very well played by Silva for only a 1-yard gain.
Now, how about these conditions? What are the things that the players are having to contend with out there?
Well, it's just number one. Every time you come back into the ball game, you've got to get the blood flowing again, and then to hold on to the football if you're a receiver or running back, quarterback, very difficult.
Jackson with a nice hole. Fred Jackson. And out of bounds close to the 20-yard line. Jacob Lacey pushed him out.
And Bill, from a defensive perspective, we saw a great example right there. The cutback. Watch how Fred Jackson takes his ball to the right side and he cuts back. The problem is the defensive players that are pursuing in order to stop and change direction. It's very, very difficult. The running back knows where he wants to go. The defensive players are reacting to him, and they just don't have the footing or the confidence in the footing to be able to break and make the play.
Fred Jackson already over 80 yards. Came in needing 150 to reach 1,000. It's been a day of milestones already. Jackson. And he'll lose a couple.
Thank you.
Ramon Humber, the rookie out of North Dakota State, made the stop.
Yeah, good play that time by this backup Buffalo defense. You're going to see Ramon Humber shooting up right in. I think he scrapes right in this way into the gap, and you're going to see him stepping up to make the play, finishing up. And actually, he came from the inside linebacker position, but hard for me to see the wide on the wide out there on the football field, but did a great job of stepping up into the gap.
2nd and 10. Just over 5 minutes remaining. Fitzpatrick guns it to Evans. Touchdown.
A really well-thrown ball by Ryan Fitzpatrick. Look at this, faking to his left, setting his feet. Really difficult in these conditions, and then that's one hit that Lee Evans is not upset about taking from Aaron Francisco, knocking him into the end zone for his 7th touchdown of the season. Ryan Fitzpatrick says, woo, he's happy about that one. 2 touchdowns. It's been a long time since he's thrown 2 touchdown passes.
21 yards, and the extra point is good. And the Buffalo Bills regain the lead with 5:02 left to play in the half. A 21-yard touchdown pass to Lee Evans. Evans' 7th touchdown of the season.
These all seem the same.
They're not.
You can't fake Sony quality. It makes watching sports in HD better.
And the more sports you watch on a Sony, the better you get at sports. I can do this all day, football star. Oh, it's on fire. It's on fire.
Sports look better on a Sony Bravia HD TV.
Put Puddles on the line. Yes, I know he's a dog. Puddles, you're going outside with Jennifer to do your business, right by your favorite bush.
Brittany, time travel is totally possible. The fabric of time is interwoven.
Some people choose unlimited calling, others choose unlimited texting. But there's one thing not included in any calling plan. The common sense not to talk or text while you drive.
Talking and texting while driving isn't worth the risk. Check out distraction.gov.
I've been working on this disease for 10 years. I think I can help your kids. What would it take to prove your theory?
Inspired by a true story.
We have a deal. I care about more important things than money. Don't tell me about more important things to care about.
A search for a cure.
We push ourselves. We work around the clock.
I already work around the clock.
A battle of wills.
Great. Cure diseases in theory, but never help a single human being in reality.
A dream worth fighting for.
Don't get your hopes up, kids. A Hail Mary.
Extraordinary Measures. Rated PG. In theaters January 22nd.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the Sony Bravia HD TV. High definition, it's in Sony's DNA. And by Sirius XM. Hear how satellite radio is changing the way you listen.
And we welcome you back to Orchard Park as the Bills fans are enjoying themselves on this blustery day. The wind chill below 0. And the snowfall is heavy.
These people are just fantastic here, I'll tell you. They love it.
And we hear that a little later the weather may get worse. Is that possible?
I don't know how that can happen. We can barely see the field from where we're at right now.
Sam Jaguar, who is from Quebec, is back deep. And he takes it. Jaguar with an opening. Just signed off the practice squad this week, and a nice return. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join James Brown and company for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 17. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
Bill, you know, we saw in the pregame show a little bit of discrepancy in opinion between the coach, Coach Cowher, who was supporting the decision by the Colts to not play their starters and go for the perfect season, and then, of course, Shannon and Boomer saying that they disagreed. They needed to let them play for it. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, 1st and 10, I think those opinions were drawn right along predictable lines.
Yes, I think
the coach and the players. They give it to Mike Hart on 1st down. And he battles his way back to the line of scrimmage. And once again, let's check in with JB in New York for an update from Week 17.
Hey, Bill, Minnesota playing for the number 2 seed. A win and a Philly loss will get him there. Take a look at Brett Favre pumping and rolling up top. 50 yards to Sidney Rice. That set up a 1-yard touchdown run by Adrian Peterson, his 18th rushing touchdown of the season. 17-0 Vikes over the Giants late in the second. Bill and Steve.
All right, JB, thank you very much.
The Giants just laying down here at the end of the year, huh?
It's been a disappointing season for the Giants and their fans. That defense has really struggled. 2nd and 8, Painter. And that's caught by Tammy. Jacob Tammy in his 2nd year out of Kentucky, a 4th-round draft pick in 2008 with the catch and a first down for the Indianapolis Colts.
Nice job by Painter to stand in there strong in the pocket, lay a nice ball in there between defenders. Good completion to Jacob Tammy. And going back to the Colts thing, though, I wonder how Shannon and Boomer would feel now after seeing what's happened with Wes Welker. Of course, it's always hindsight, but just more support for the right decision being made by the Colts, I believe.
Hart stays in the game. Painter with time over the middle, incomplete. Tried to hit Austin Collie. And the official is down, helped up now. And it's just slippery out there for everybody.
Yeah. This is the game that these players will remember for the rest of their lives. They'll talk about this day because you just don't get a chance to. You see a lot of these games on TV when you see historical perspective, but you don't get to play in many of them.
And we've got a timeout on the field. Is this fun for the players?
Well,
in a way.
It's fun when it's over. It's fun when you thaw out when it's over. While it's going on, it's not a whole heck of a lot of fun.
It wasn't that bad before the game started. We had this is the scene at kickoff, and we had a little bit of snow falling at that time. But now this is just turned into a blizzard.
Now you said it wasn't that bad, but relatively speaking, I guess it was. You went down the field. It was not this, but comparatively speaking, yes, 100% right.
Garth DeFelice, our umpire, is the official who went down. So that's why we have a timeout on the field.
Probably examining just to make sure that there's not any sign of a head injury. That field again now is very, very hard. You're going to see he slips right there, and that boom, right on the. You see that when his head hit the turf.
Actually, one of the Bills took him out.
Yep, he got his legs knocked out from underneath him, but it was that head slamming into the hard turf that they're probably concerned about. They want the doctors, just as the players, you know, there's such an awareness now for the head injuries that have taken place over the years in the NFL for the players, but you know, you don't want to mess around with anybody that hits their head. Those officials, they give it up every week for the game as well.
So 2nd and 10, play resumes from the 41-yard line. Painter tried to get it to Hart, fumble, scramble for the football, and the Bills have it.
Now this was just a complete breakdown, Bill. It was supposed to be a draw play. The ball handling.
Flag on the play. The result of the play is a fumble.
We talked about how difficult the ball handling is.
Ball. 1st and 10.
In these conditions, but you'll see right here, that was a miscommunication because Mike Hart, the running back, was going for the blitz pickup, thinking it was a pass, but you saw Curtis Painter right there trying to give the ball to Mike Hart, and that's the problem when you get young players. Curtis Painter, a rookie, 6th rounder out of Purdue, and then Mike Hart, a 2nd-year player out of Michigan. They're not used to being out there together. They're not used to being out there, period, on a regular basis. Very difficult. A lot of times you have those miscommunications.
Talking to Tom Moore, the senior offensive coordinator.
And Tom Moore's job is a little different when Peyton Manning's out there on the field versus Curtis Painter. No knock on Curtis Painter, but Tom Moore has to work a little bit harder.
Chris Kelsey, by the way, came away with the football, credited with the fumble recovery. Fred Jackson now. Nice little move to cut it back inside and close to another first down for the Buffalo Bills.
Well, Fred Jackson's looking very comfortable out there on the slippery, frozen field here at Rich Stadium. He needs 60 yards for 1,000. That means he's got 90 on the day. Pretty impressive in the first half.
And this is the guy who has done it all for these Buffalo Bills. The only other player in the NFL with a rushing touchdown, a receiving touchdown, and a touchdown pass this season is on the other side of the field and not playing today, Joseph Adai. Fitzpatrick going deep. T.O. touchdown!
Well, they finally hit one, Bill. We talked about it a little bit earlier. That's the second time this year that Ryan Fitzpatrick and Terrell Owens have hooked up on a long one. We were there in Jacksonville when they hooked up on a 98-yarder. This one right here, right on the money. You see the great protection up front for Ryan Fitzpatrick, and Terrell Owens got behind Kelvin Hayden. Now let us point out, these Buffalo fans have every right to celebrate. They haven't seen much excitement this year, but this is against largely the backup defense of the Indianapolis Colts.
Third touchdown pass of the day for Ryan Fitzpatrick. That gives him 9 on the season. 5th touchdown reception of the year for Terrell Owens. Ryan Lindell on to extend the Buffalo lead, and does. 21-7 with 2:28 left in the half. A 41-yard touchdown catch by Terrell Owens.
It's good to be rewarded for your purchases. Happily, membership rewards points from American Express can be used for over 1 million things you want and experiences you'll never forget. And because points don't expire, you can keep them to use whenever you like. Can your card say that?
You think T.O. is having any fun out there? Standing on the bench,
yep,
leading the crowd.
I read an article this week talking about how much he appreciated the people here and how good the experience has been for him from that perspective. Yeah, 8 yards, right? To pass Tim Brown, yeah. Terrell Owens needs...
He's not as cold right now, is he?
Only 8 yards to pass Tim Brown into 3rd place on the all-time list.
Meanwhile, we talked about the sort of audition that Ryan Fitzpatrick was having today in order to be considered at least in the Bills' plans going forward, and he certainly has produced with 3 touchdown passes.
Produced very, very well today, and has not looked in sync most of the season, but today he looks very sharp.
Line drive kick. It hits Jaguar and goes into the end zone. And out of bounds for a touchback. So the Colts will take over. 1st and 10. 2:24 left to go in the half, and
wow,
there's the definition of Hardy fan right there.
Ooh, man. That is somebody's son. Oh, that's my boy.
I have to tell you, these folks are having a great time.
Oh, look at these guys.
Wow. Taking your shirt off is not always a good idea.
No, no, no.
It was 228.
21-7 Buffalo.
Well, you know, Bill, there are going to be detractors that say that, you know, the decision that was made last week not to keep harping on, but it is a very, very relevant story of Indianapolis giving up the quest for 16-0 last week. Now they're behind it for their 2nd week in a row, and what does this do to their overall psyche and confidence as a team?
Well, the Bills.
Freak thing.
Fixing the clock. The Colts so focused on getting back to the Super Bowl, which they won in the 2006 season, then the 2 disappointing losses to the Chargers the last 2 years in the postseason, and they would love to get that monkey off their backs by beating the Chargers at home in the AFC Championship game to punch their ticket to Miami and Super Bowl 44.
No doubt.
Mike Hart stays in the game. Painter will throw. Over the middle and intercepted. And Kerry Harris, the rookie out of USC, with his second interception of the game.
Well, that ball just got away from Curtis Painter. Austin Collie was definitely open. Over the middle, you're going to see him flashing in from the left side down the middle of the field, or the right side of your screen. That ball just sails over the top, and again, that's Kerry Harris with his second interception of the day. Two of them. You don't get any easier interceptions than the two he's had today. And Austin Collie finishes it off, but Curtis Painter knows, you know what? I had an open receiver. Sure, it's tough conditions, but I still got to make that throw.
And that is 28 interceptions on the season for the Buffalo Bills, and it beats the mark set 40 years ago, 67, when they had 27 picks. Jackson. Tough yards inside, and that will take us to the 2-minute warning. It is just a brutal day weather-wise here just outside of Buffalo. The Bills 21-7.
I'm all shook up.
There have been many versions of the social greeting. The fist bump has been thrust into and out of vogue. The low five was cool for a while. The chest bump had its day, as did the outlaw, the forearm grasp, and the point and go. In certain circles, the headbutt, and of course, the bro hug double back tap combo. But one greeting stands the test of time, with a beer that starts with full flavor and ends with a crisp, clean finish. It's what we do. Budweiser.
A single flash of a fraction of a moment. And in that moment, 70,000 people will stand in the same pair of shoes. Because they all know that this moment might not be a moment at all. It might be the entire season. Be there. You want the NFL? Go to the NFL.
I'll have macchiato.
Whipped cream with that?
Guys, do I want whipped cream?
Yes.
Ha! The people have spoken, and I always listen to the people.
Queen Latifah hosts the People's Choice Awards, your favorites in music, TV,
Bazinga,
and movies. Live Wednesday.
Only CBS.
We're back, and coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join James Brown and company for all the latest NFL scores and highlights in the final week of the regular season. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. And the snow plows have come out to clear the sidelines and also the end zone. Accumulation now here in Orchard Park. And let's see what the Buffalo Bills can do with these last 2 minutes of the first half. Already leading 21-7. Jackson, play action. Stupar, the tight end, gets out of bounds.
Well, Ryan Fitzpatrick looks very comfortable in these conditions out here. I'm impressed by how he seems to be relatively unfazed out there delivering the ball. Nice spirals coming out of his hand right, and very accurate today.
In his fourth year out of Harvard, going back to last season with Cincinnati, Fitzpatrick is 6-4 in his last 10 starts, 3-4 as a starter here with the Bills. 1:53 left to play in the half. Fitzpatrick, Evans with the catch and out of bounds to stop the clock. And that is close to the 30-yard line.
We can't tell for certain which yard line that is, but it's somewhere right around that 30-yard line, it looks like.
9-yard gain on the play. 2nd and 1 from the 29.
And 2nd and 1. Bills looking for more points before halftime. Jackson again, the lone setback. And they give it to him. He's had a great first half. Brought down hard after a pickup of 3 by Lacey, the cornerback. And that will move the chains.
Well, good tackle by Lacey, picking him up, but not good enough to keep Fred Jackson from picking up that first down.
Okay.
1:20 left in the half. Short drop over the middle. Kloffenstein, the tight end. Another Buffalo first down, and the Bills will take a timeout. So the Bills on the move already with the lead 21-7.
There for you and life's daily miracles.
Who's the best? This guy is.
There for you and your guilty pleasures.
The Bills with one timeout remaining. Colts with all of theirs. Looking for more points with 1:12 left in the opening half. And we're going to give you an approximation. The ball's at about the 15-yard line. First and 10. Jackson gets some running room and steps out of bounds.
Just a little bit more of what we were expecting today, Bill. You know, the
Repeat first down.
The Buffalo Bills, we got a holding penalty on Buffalo there. And that, I guess, too, we were kind of expecting. They've been penalized a lot this year with all the change up in that offensive line up front. The 9th different combination, as you stated, but they have come to play today. And Richie Incognito, we had the game last week in Atlanta. He told us that these last couple weeks they had a very, very high motivation to try and get Fred Jackson to 150 yards, give him 1,000 on the season. And that was because he's such a warrior, because he really is such a great leader and example for this football team.
First and 20. They give it to Fred Jackson. Eludes the first man. And finally is brought down. Kelvin Hayden, the cornerback, made the stop. Penalties really an issue all season long for the Bills 2 weeks ago against New England. They played well, but they were called 11 times for 124 yards.
And they've had 3 different quarterbacks switching around this year, different snap counts. Very difficult.
They have to get to the 5 for a first down. Jackson continuing to run down to 29 seconds and a timeout. Bills will take their final timeout of the half.
What if a moment standing still could be just as beautiful when it breathes? If some moments preferred to take their time. If photography moved us and we moved photography, and we could all see beyond the still. Moving photography in 1080p Full HD, pioneered with EOS, inspired by Canon.
The numbers for Fred Jackson, it's been a very good opening half. 120 total yards, 104 on the ground, 46 yards away from 1,000. 3rd and 9, 29 seconds left in the half. And some confusion before the snap.
Play game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat. Third down. Remains third down.
Out of a timeout, that is borderline inexcusable. I think it is inexcusable. There was confusion about how to line up. Terrell Owens and Lee Evans were discussing who was supposed to be on the ball and who was off the ball. What they had there truly was a failure to communicate.
So 3rd and 14. T.O. is in motion, and again we have a whistle before the snap.
Really having a lot of difficulty getting this play run.
Again, Don Carey, our referee today. He'll walk over and explain things to Perry Fuel.
You know what I think happened, what they probably told Perry Fuel is that they forgot to mark off the 5-yard penalty for delay of game.
All right, so now 3rd and 14 from the 19-yard line. Fitzpatrick checks it down to Fred Jackson. And he's out of bounds. That'll stop the clock with 22 seconds left in the half. Humber made the stop. And this could be an adventure, but we have a penalty marker, and it's on the Colts.
68. 5-yard penalty. Replay. Third down.
So they'll get another shot at 3rd down. Perry Fuel there on the Buffalo sideline. First time he's been a head coach at any level. He told us regardless of what happens, it has been a tremendous experience and an honor to coach the Buffalo Bills. So 3rd and 9, 22 seconds left in the half. Colts showing blitz. Here they come. They pick it up. Fitzpatrick in and out of the hands of Kloffenstein, the tight end.
Well, that ball was extremely well thrown by Ryan Fitzpatrick. There was a very small window right there to get the ball to Kloffenstein, but Ryan Fitzpatrick very decisive and quick and accurate with his throw. You see this thing comes out humming, and look at right off of Kloffenstein's hand. You know, down in the red zone, there is very, very little room to make these plays. When there's an opening, a seam, a crack in the defense, you've got to get that ball on time and accurate, and that ball was the only place Ryan Fitzpatrick could have thrown it.
Ryan Lindell, who's been remarkably accurate from inside of 40 yards and continues to do so. That from 31 yards out, and the Bills with 14 seconds left in the half now lead 24-7.
Well, Bill, you were talking about Perry Fuel, and we've discussed it a lot over the last few days too, but you know, considering the circumstances and considering what he's had to go through with injuries, and the offensive coordinator Turk Schoner was fired prior to the season opener, Dick Duran fired halfway through the season. He's done a really, really good job, in my opinion, for not having any time to prepare to keep this team together. They've played hard almost every single snap of every single game since he's taken over. There was a little bit of a let up last week. We both agreed last week in Atlanta. But I believe he deserves at least a chance to present to Buddy Nix, the new general manager here, and Ralph Wilson, his plan, what he would do and why he believes he's fit for this opportunity. And I think he will get that opportunity to present his case. But a lot of names being thrown around out there for possible replacements from the outside. I think that's probably the way they're going to go. Ron Rivera is one of the names that comes up quite often now recently. Brian Billick is another name that's come up in the last few days. And then, depending on the status of the New York Jets with the playoffs, Brian Schottenheimer is another name that's been jumping into the picture in the last couple of days as well. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Sam Jaguar again is back deep. Field the kick for the Indianapolis Colts. And Jaguar takes it. Tries to get to the outside and does. A nifty return by Sam Jaguar. and out of bounds with 7 seconds left in the half. Again, Jaguars signed this week with Chad Simpson out. Well, this programming note, Saturday, it's a women's hoop doubleheader as Ohio State takes on Michigan State in a Big Ten bash, and then North Carolina tangles with the defending national champion UConn Huskies. That's Saturday here on CBS Sports.
Sam Jaguar showing a little bit of spunk there as the kickoff return. That's twice. He's had 2 very good returns, trying to take advantage of his opportunity.
And again, he's from Canada, fitting because we're so close to the Canadian border. He's from Quebec and played football there at Sherbrooke College.
Used to a much wider, much longer football field as well.
And not as many downs.
Not as many downs, exactly.
Timeout. Indianapolis. Their first charge timeout. And 30-second timeout.
And the Colts discussing what they want to do here. 7 seconds. Realistically, they might be able to get one play in and get a quick 10 or 15 yards and get a timeout called, be pushing it. The question is whether they want to just try and heave one up and go for the Hail Mary here right now and see if Curtis Painter can get it all the way into the end zone.
Saw Peyton Manning over there, and we talked to Curtis about Peyton, and he said, you know, just being able to sit around, watch how he prepares, watch how he practices, and just absorb as much as I can has been a tremendous learning experience.
Peyton's calling him over here right now. Curtis Painter's last 2 plays have been a fumble and interception, so he's probably not playing with a lot of confidence right now, but what a great opportunity to learn from what's going to go down as one of, if not the greatest quarterback of all time, Peyton Manning, to watch his preparation week after week.
7 seconds left. Painter incomplete at the feet of Austin Collie. 2 seconds left in the half.
Well, they were trying to do just what we were talking about, trying to get the ball to Austin Collie at about the 25-yard line and then get the quick timeout called. Curtis Painter was turning to the referee before he saw whether that ball was completed or not.
So time for one more play. Painter flush from the pocket and tripped up. Sacked Kyle Williams with his 4th sack of the season. And that will bring the first half to a close.
That was the end of the first half.
24-7 Bills. Will be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local CBS station.